That way we have to take something out.
All right, good evening and welcome to the first meeting of 2026 for the Community Development Advisory Committee. Happy New Year to everyone here. Roll call, everyone is in attendance, and we need approval for the agenda for February 10th, 2026. We need a motioner and a seconder, please, for the agenda. Brad and Councillor Palmer. All in favor? Carried, thank you. Any declaration of pecuniary interest this evening? Okay, seeing none, approval of the minutes from our last meeting, November the 12th of 2025. Need a mover and a seconder for that. Councillor Pelkman, and seconded by Jagger. Any comments or questions about the minutes? All in favor? Carried, thank you. Reports of committees and departments. Recommendation that reports from committees and departments be received for information. We have a mover and a seconder for that. Councillor Pelkman, and then seconder. Steve, thank you. All in favor? Carried, thank you very much. Progress through Partnership Director, you want to talk to that?
Thank you, Chair. Just quickly, every year we bring forward a list of projects. Really what we do is we carry forward what we had from the previous year. But if there are members who have any ideas or suggestions that could go on the list, or if you have any ideas that people who may want to partner, or if you know of groups that are interested in doing something and it's not on the list, please let us know, and we'll reach out to those organizations, and or we can add items to the list. So this is just what we had last year, again, along with some suggestions with regards to what is possible for PTP. We've had, over the last couple of years, a number of projects that have come forward that weren't on the list, that people have come to us after the fact, and we've been able to complete a number of projects that were which are beneficial to the community. And I know we presented 3 possible projects for this coming year. Paul is going to speak to one of them, which is the HCC and the museum collaboration. And then there were two other ones, one about cross ice pads and another one about goal nets. The one about goal nets has resolved itself, so that one will be taken off the list, but we're waiting for a formal proposal from Strathroy District Minor Hockey Association with regards to the cross ice pads. So I'll turn it over to Paul now for an update on that collaboration.
Thank you. Another little piece I want to throw. I don't have details right now, but working with a couple of the schools that we have joint use agreements with to possibly do some equipment that would benefit our program. So keep that in your minds for later. This project though is with HCC, someone that we've partnered with before very successfully, most recently with the community gardens. And the teachers there would like to do a project with the museum that would involve computers and projectors that would celebrate the history of music and I think history in general in the community. So it would be a series of projectors, 3 of them, and 1 computer that would put images and sounds and everything on the walls in the museum and they would work on the project with the museum on creating something that would reflect the history throughout Strathroy-Caradoc. So that's something that I think would be really cool. Don't have an exact number for you, but it's about $10,000 that they're looking for. So what I can do is I can get them to put a formal application ahead that will give those specific numbers, because they did the numbers back, I think, in November, so we want to make sure that they're exact numbers before we make a full ask. But questions?
Councillor Wilsey first.
So on that, just with what the students, they've been looking for, projectors, screens, the computer, did we confirm with the museum that there's enough room to put these screens and that they'd fit and it would work with the layout of the museum and everything?
Yeah, they've been working with Michelle. That's why my information for you probably isn't quite as detailed as hers would be. But yeah, no, they've worked out all these details, and it wouldn't be screens; it would be on the walls. So you'd have bare walls, and then the projections would be on the walls.
Okay, and then following this, we could use it for other purposes or beyond this one exhibit.
Yeah, for sure.
Steve?
What's HCC actually doing for you guys? Are they gonna be responsible for doing the mounting and stuff like that? Is that what their involvement in this part is?
They're going to create the project. So all the images and sounds and all that stuff is, and they're I believe they're creating some woodworking projects. I think Kate probably knows more than I do. That will be part of that. So they'll be on there and reflecting those images as well. So
A follow-up, Steve?
this is the tech department. Just as,
I know, John.
Yeah.
Is most of the cost then the cost of the equipment? Is that what most of the 10 grand is then?
When it comes to actual money, yes. Yeah, the time and energy put by the faculty is kind of that offsetting cost where we can, I think, validate this project.
Director?
I was just going to just build on one of the things Paul was saying is where Paul's kind of giving you a snapshot of what the project is. When we come back in February, you're going to have a formal proposal in front of you, which will show, cost of equipment, the estimated time and value associated with the instructors, and if students are involved and that kind of stuff. So you're going to see the in and the out. From both organizations, from Strathroy-Caradoc as well as HCC.
Councillor Palmer?
Rather than have the money come from the PTP, could it not come from the money that has been set aside from the Museum Foundation?
Director?
Through the chair to Councillor Palmer, we can look into that. I'm not sure what they've done with the money that was transferred from the foundation into, if it just went into general revenues. It did not. It went into a reserve fund for
A
the
reserve
museum.
fund because it was donations, so it couldn't go into general. So
Alright.
it's set aside in a reserve fund to be used for projects like this.
So we could absolutely do that. We would just we'd have to bring a report to council and get direction to use the reserve funds from the museum to purchase the equipment as opposed to PTP funds.
Any other questions or comments? Councillor Coughlin?
So I'm guessing that the goal is to try and make like an immersive experience, like you kind of see. Yeah, that's a cool idea actually, because we have thousands and thousands of good images at the museum. And that'd be a neat way to bring them to life and to try and attract a new generation of viewers.
Anyone else? Okay. Thank you, Paul. Do you want to update cross ice pads, or did you already do that with the?
Essentially, I did that from the
The
start.
same for the sports nets?
Correct.
Okay. Let's move to, oh, sorry, Councillor Palmer, go ahead, sorry.
Sorry, just before you move on, I just had a couple questions about the list. Things on the list, because feminine hygiene product dispensers, do we not have those in the arena?
We have them in the female washrooms only. So the intent was to look at putting them into the AODA compliant or family washrooms as well. And not all of our venues have them. The arenas have them, but our, like as an example, the splash pad doesn't have them at the Scout House. The ball diamond washrooms don't have them. So there are different locations that we'd be looking at.
Okay, and then community gardens.
Councillor Palmer, can you turn your mic on, please?
Sorry.
Thank you.
And then community gardens, is that like the one we just built, that was just built, or something different?
Through the chair to Councillor Palmer, it's similar to the one we built, but we can actually take that off the list because we've done it, or we can leave it on the list in case someone else wants to do one about bridges or something like that. So.
Hey. Good to move on, everyone? Okay, let's go to 6.1 with the market update. I assume we're going to Kate here. Kate?
Yes, so at our last meeting, we went over the terms of reference for the Market Advisory Committee. We've only had 6 people apply to be on the committee, which is within the numbers. We could take each of them. Rob, are we wanting to go over each person or no, just general? Okay. So on the committee, it looks like we'll have 2 members of the market from previous years, and then 2 business owners, and then 2 community members. At this time, we don't have any produce vendors wanting to be on the market board, so if you know anyone, please have them reach out. We really would like to have them on there. So we'll go about, after this meeting, setting up the first meeting with this Market Advisory Committee, and then registration will be going out in the next few days.
Any questions for Kate? Councillor Wilson?
Are there members of council on that committee or just the?
Yeah, there are members of council.
Okay, is that included in the 6 then?
No, they're in the makeup. I believe it comes to 10 people. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it would be these committee members. We have 2 councillors and then staff.
Any other questions or, oh, Director?
We'll be looking for council members to step up to.
Already have them.
We already have them, excellent.
And thank you, Councillor Puffman. I'm just kidding, I don't know who's on there.
I had to throw my name out there.
Any other questions or comments for Kate? Director?
Kate indicated that the applications will be going out this week, and hopefully this week, if not early next week. The department is down a couple staff at the moment, so Paul and Kate are doing double duty. The intention is to send the application out for produce vendors free of charge. So the encouragement is to draw some produce vendors in, and to do that, one of the ways was to waive the registration fee, just so members are aware.
Good? Oh, Councillor Wilson, go ahead.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking we were talking about produce vendors, but some of the produce vendors talked about the timing and how we handled rain days just in some of the surveys. Do we have any changes to affect that to maybe attract them more as well?
Yeah, we're changing our rain policy, so we will be updating and changing that so that we can stay open during the rain. There will just be different safety barriers in place. So we may, when it's raining, move people further down in the street so there's less risk of a vehicle driving through, things like that. So we'll stay open, but we're going to make it safer.
And Kate, just a quick question, same day of the week, same hours. Is the committee decided, or have you decided yet if you're increasing the amount of night markets, because they really worked well last year, or staying at the same for this year?
The plan is to stay the same this year until we're established with the advisory committee.
Okay.
So it'll stay Saturday mornings currently. We do have another night market coming this year. It'll be in Mount Bridges in July. So we've added, I think we're up to 4 night markets now.
And where, sorry, I don't know if you know this or not, where in Mount Bridges have you guys decided on a location for that community?
I can't officially say yet.
Okay, cool, that's fine. That's fine. Any other questions for Kate? Okay. Registration updates, is that with you, Director? Resident first approach?
So we've talked at this table before about a resident's first approach. And what we mean by that is, I'll just use the summer camps, and Paul, you guys can pop in and correct me if my numbers are wrong. But we had around 1,800 registrations in the first day of summer camps. We have 2,200 spots, roughly. So some of the concerns that have been raised around this table, as well as other members of council have mentioned, how do we know that our residents are being serviced if camps are filling up and so on? So we do have the ability to manage our booking and scheduling software, registration software through postal code. We didn't want to do that this year for summer camps, because that would be the first time we'd be trying it. And we didn't want to have a colossal issue develop with the software. So what we're going to be doing is our registration programs that open up in the fall, we will be doing a residents first through postal code for those fall programs. And it's going to be a bit of a pilot project to see how the software works with the postal codes and so on, and see if we have any challenges, and if we're able to work through those challenges prior to the next big summer camp and swim registration. I know, Kate, you have something you want to add?
I met with the software company 2 weeks ago. They're rolling out a new website that is better developed for people to be able to register online or on their phones. Right now, the software is not good for that. We knew that we need to merge a bunch of profiles. If anyone gets locked out, they can make a new profile. Some people have 6 or 12 different profiles for their family. So we're working on merging those, and then with the new software update, we should be able to do it a lot more seamlessly.
So that's the update with regards to the residents first approach. And I know Paul's going to touch on the registration numbers, but the volume of people that we put through in the first 2 hours when we open up camps is insane. I walk in here at 10 o'clock and Kate's pulling her hair out. Paul's at West Middlesex doing the same thing, and Tracy's on the phone. And so it's a busy first half of a day, and then it slows down. It is something that we're going to do. We just want to make sure that we're doing it right, so we have as few issues as possible. So.
Questions, comments? Steve?
Are our residents not being able to register because it's capped, or we've got too full? Like for me, if we have 2,200 spots and we have 18 filled, then why not fill it with people from out of town? Like, to me, that means we're utilizing this 100%. So I think that's a good thing, not unless the residents are getting squeezed out.
Okay. Director or Paul? Yep.
I can field that one. It's a bit of a double answer. There's a bunch of people not getting, we have wait lists, and they're not getting. To throw a little more perspective onto what Rob said, in our first 20 minutes, I think we were around 1,100 registrations. We were registering people, and then by the time we clicked it, they were waitlisted. That's how quick it went. We've never seen it quite like this before. Last year was super busy, but this was something different. So yeah, there may be people not getting it, but I don't know how that would change if we did resident first. I really don't think that it will, because the bulk of our registrations are local anyways, and they clamor for the same spots. So you're still going to get waitlisted. You're still going to, whether you're residents or non-residents. With the approach that Rob is saying, what will work with that, and again, just to reiterate, is we had a bunch of glitches with this system already. If we'd have thrown that into the mix, I think it would have been chaos, so I'm glad that we didn't. But with the postal code piece, at least that way, then the people that get the spots will be residents. They'll get that first dibs at it. We could honestly do it to give them a 1 day head start, and everybody's going to get what they want, and it's probably going to be sold out for the spots that want to. Like, we have 2,229 spots. If every single camp is 100% full, and right now we're at 1,869. So, and we're just into February. So it gives you an idea of where we're at, and I don't think that we'll get to full capacity, but we'll break 2,000.
Councillor Pammer.
Yeah, I think it's, residents first doesn't mean that non-residents can't apply. It just means residents will have the first chance. So we're not gonna leave spots intentionally open. If residents don't fill those spots, then they would be open to non-residents. So I think maybe your concern, maybe you misunderstood the way they're gonna roll that out. And then the second thing is, why do we do it? Because it's taxpayer funded. It's the taxpayers of the municipality that are funding these programs, largely. I mean, there's some user fees, but it's largely funded by the tax base. So the taxpayer should have first access to it. I really believe in that. Or the other option is you charge more for out-of-towners. When my kids were in day camp and they wanted to go to a London program, I had to pay the out of resident fee. That was the way they got around it at the time. I don't know what they do now, but different municipalities do it differently. But somehow the taxpayer's paying for it, so they need to get priority, in my opinion.
Any other questions or comments? There's still a small little loophole though, Paul, if grandson, granddaughter were to register under grandma who lives in Strathroy.
They're paying
They're
taxes.
paying taxes. Grandma's paying taxes. So.
Yeah.
There's always loopholes.
Yeah, true enough.
I mean, yeah.
Is it
If you're willing to do the work to find them, I guess you're the winner.
True enough. If I could if I could ask a question, it's kind of just split off this, but the 2,200 cap, Paul, is that exhausting all the recreational facilities in town and utilizing them?
Again, that's not necessarily a black or white question. The reason that it's capped at that is for quality, because we don't want to just go to see how high of a number that we could register, because we could go well higher than that. I think if we opened up some of the more popular camps for numbers, like just to give you an idea, we have some hockey camps that will get into almost equal numbers of waitlisted as kids registered. So, but to put 30 kids in a group on the ice versus 60 kids, 60 kids take the quality is gone. You're now just going for numbers, and we want to make sure. The reason our numbers have grown like this is because the quality of the program, and give the staff the credit for that on top of our facilities. But if we push that limit, and that's where the magic happens, whether we balance and see what's the best, is we want to keep that quality, and we want to keep people coming back and wanting to come back. So that's where you're seeing that number, and 2,200 is, I mean, that's a lot of kids.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thanks for taking that question. Director, and then Steve. Yeah.
If I could just add to Paul's comment, if we had more venues, we could run more programs, more camps, and still have that quality. What we don't want to do is what Paul is saying. If a camp's designed for 30 people, we could put 60 in it, but the quality drops. But if we had another facility where we could put another 30 people in it, we could run a program. But we're not going to go out and just build facilities just to run summer camps.
No, and I guess that's where I was going, and totally agree with the quality. It was not a question about quality, it was a question about, I know a few years ago, the recreational or the facilities in the municipality weren't being all used to their ability, and I just was hoping that they are now, which I truly believe that they are. So that was kind of where I was going with that. Steve?
The cost then of the camp, could it be looked at recovering more of running it? Like, could it be raised? Was it raised? And like if you're getting those kind of numbers, obviously you're offering good quality for value, right? Is it possible to recover more from that?
Paul?
Yeah, I think we've done that this year. We have raised, and we continue to raise as we do our other fees. Sometimes this is a little bit more. We don't want to price gouge either, so I think part of the popularity of the program is that it is still a reasonable price. But when it comes to camp, we are recovering our costs there. It's one of the programs that sustains itself. We have others that don't, like the pool. but this is a program that certainly sustains itself, so.
Councillor Wilson.
In the new software, just thinking as we're looking at doing postal code and resident first billing, how easy would it be, and I guess what the process would be to look at doing it, about adding a non-resident fee based on postal code as well? Like if we're already doing residents first for non-residents, if it's already by postal code, it could be like an extra charge that's added on to that. I don't know what the process would be, if that would come through here, or, I'm not proposing it because I can't here, but just what the process would be.
Director.
When we're working through with the Univeris, we can reach out and ask them what the process would be to look at a non-resident fee, to see if it's easy to include in that approach. And then we can always bring a report to council with a information report with an update. If council chooses to push us in that direction, then we can go in that direction. One of the hesitations around it is the trying to, where do we draw the line? So does minor hockey or minor baseball, whose catchment area is not just Strathroy, it's going to be Adelaide Metcalfe, it could be City of London, it could be Park Hill, because there are no more boundaries. Do we now ask for minor hockey registration lists with addresses, and then do we charge an additional fee to minor hockey because 50% of their registrants are no longer residents of Strathroy-Caradoc? So where do you draw the line? Is it just in our recreation programs, or is it on any rental that we have in the facility? So that's going to be the question that would have to be grappled when we go down this process. But we can more than easily ask the software provider and see what it would take, and if it's easy to do, and then we can bring a report back to council. We can bring a report to here, and if council, if the committee wants us to take it to council, we can do that as well. So, Kate, you had something to add?
I did ask the software company, it's not planned in this update, doing different fees by postal code, but they are open to the idea. It sounds like they have a very long list of requests in this update, so it's not in this one coming in August.
Look at that, I should just ask you.
That's what I'm here for.
Any other questions or comments regarding resident first approach? Okay, registration update, Paul, I believe.
Yep, I think I've already started with camp, so you know we've got right now currently 1,869 registrations. That's 11 more than we had all of last year. Now, just to give some perspective, we do have an extra week this year. Every 6 years, I believe it is, we get a 10th week of camp or summer. So this is that magical year. So we will see higher numbers because of that. But as we talk about that 2,200, that's roughly 220 kids a week in camp. So, like I say, it's going to be busy. It's I see this getting well over 2,000 registrations, so that'll be at least 200 kids a week. So, really busy, which is good because we've got lots of staff coming back. I just looked, I think 102 applications for camp counselor spots, so it's a popular spot to come to work as well. So right there, we're about 200 ahead of last year's pace. So I'll let you know that. Now the one really good thing that we have done, and I'm going to give Kate a bunch of credit on this one, is we've worked on our wait list and juggling around. So we've got it down. At one point it was about 380 and it's down to 119 now. So we've been able to accommodate a little bit more than we have in the past. Any questions on camp?
Councillor Wilson?
Just because you got into employing and summer staff, how are we doing with lifeguards? I know there's been some issues with different municipalities last year trying to get lifeguards and make sure we have enough. Are we good for this year?
You're jumping ahead. I'm asking about camp. Yeah. You didn't even give me a chance to give you aquatic numbers yet.
Do we have any questions about the camps first? Before
right into the aquatics. Lifeguards are certainly a slower pace application-wise than it is for camp, but it looks like we've got about 14 of our guards already coming back. We've got another week or so. The 17th, I think, is the deadline for applications. So we are one of the lucky ones that we've been able to get enough guards to meet our requirements. I know other pools do struggle, and I hope that we don't get into that. So, but right now it looks like we've got enough applications to fill all our spots, and so far they all look qualified. We haven't interviewed yet though. And on that we'll give the aquatic numbers. So
Okay.
we're a little bit ahead of pace there as well, which is nice. So we're about 583 registrations between our lessons and our swim team, and I think last year was 550 at this time. So yeah, going really well. One really nice luxury, knock on wood, I guess everybody's got to sign the contracts, but it looks like our leadership teams for both camp and aquatics will all be back this year. So that's a luxury for me especially, but for the programs as well. We have a really competent staff, and this lends to the numbers going the way that they do, that they take care of things. So happy about that. I think that's about it for registration numbers.
Steve?
Oh, I was just wondering with the lifeguards there, do we do a training program? Like, do we facilitate that so that you know later on that you're gonna have X amount of lifeguards coming out that you could potentially pick from, so you don't run into that problem? And are most of the camp counselors and stuff like that, are most of them youth? Like, are they young kids out of school or out of university, or what age range, I'm just wondering, in that do you end up picking?
I think there's a lot of questions in there. So I'm going to start with our ages. Yeah, I try to work a nice balance of high school and university students for our programs. It helps keep that transition in that cycle really good. As the university students age out, then I still have those high school ones that have now come into the university and been replaced with more high school kids. So that's kind of how we try to work that. Other questions you had on that, how we do it? The training. Sorry, you asked about training. So they'll have to come with their NL if we're talking about lifeguards. So they come pre-trained, and then we do our own on-site training as well. Now to fill those spots, the way that the lessons work is they go all the way from preschool up to the bronze program, and the bronze are prerequisites for the National Lifeguard certificate. So we do the training and the programming for the bronze, medallion, and cross programs, and then that's what they need to go in and get their NL. We don't do the NL training ourselves. Those are different sites that do that, but yeah. And then we implemented a few years ago with a junior lifeguard program as well, where you could come in. You wouldn't necessarily have to have your NL, but you couldn't guard on your own, just as a little safety net. This is before we dropped the age, we didn't do it. They dropped the age to have younger guards qualify because of this issue of getting enough guards. So yeah, we try to and we promote volunteerism within our program as well, so that those bronze students can come in and volunteer at the pool with our guards and get a feel for things, and then hopefully we see them with their applications in years to come and jump into our program.
Councillor Pilkman.
Yeah, just a couple of things that I think are worth pointing out, because I've talked to HR quite a bit about this. You know, they onboard like 160 people all at once, which is an incredible amount of work. And I think I was talking to Doug beginning of January, and they were already reaching out to the previous year's employees to make sure that they knew we were willing to hire them back, so they don't go looking somewhere else. And the other thing is as an employer myself, I'm getting applications from kids who have worked either at the summer camps or at the pool. And so I invariably have to ask them if they're gonna go back there. And they're like, oh, 100%, yes, that was great. And, it's just the importance of how good a relationship it is between you guys running the summer camps and the programs that they have such a great experience that it's a non-question that they intend to go back, which when you're hiring so many people is why you get the retention that you do. Sucks to be me.
Paul, as far as the aquatic park, do you foresee the same structure of programming as was in 2025, or is there any additional programming coming to the aquatic park this year, or maybe additional hours in certain times, or?
So essentially the same structure as last year. We don't have any room for more. We've tasked our aquatic supervisor with slicing and dicing that pool the best that they can in order to maximize our potential. The one benefit that we do have is this extra week of summer. So we decided, and instead of trying to add another week or another session of swim lessons, where we usually have 9 weeks, so we have 4 sessions and then a week at the end, we now will have a week at the beginning, which will eliminate Canada Day from interfering with the lessons, and we'll have that week at the end. So with that extra week before, that gives us an opportunity to do a little bit more programming that is not lesson based. So people will get a little extra time in programming in the pool.
Cool, thank you. Any other questions or comments for Paul? Okay, thank you. 6.3 project updates. Is that with you, Director?
I'm going to let, I was just pulling up, so it's shared on the screen, but I'm gonna let Kate speak to the sponsorship package.
Are we skipping project updates and going right to sponsorship?
Yeah, we're on project updates.
My apologies, I'm anxious to do that.
Let me rephrase.
I'm trying to like the mayor did the other night, so. So why don't we let, because I've got it up on the screen now, we'll let Kate go and then I'll go back to project updates to Darren.
All right, so our 2026 sponsorship is out. We've sent the first email off to people in Strathroy-Caradoc and beyond. We're sitting at about a quarter of our sponsorship goal already. So share this, it's on the website. Rachel set us up with a flip book on the website this year, which looks great. You can flip through, it looks very professional. We've added a couple events this year. So we have a volunteer appreciation event happening. Our goal was to do that in March, and I think I was a little bit too excited. So we might look at doing that in September, because I don't think there's any way. So we'll be looking at doing that in the fall, probably around the same time as the Meet Strathroy-Caradoc event. It's a similar group of people. And then we've added a night market in Mount Bridges. So that is something new this year. And then we also will be doing Canvas and Culture, our award-winning event, again in September. So that's in there as well. So we're about a quarter of the way through in our sponsorship goal and hoping that we hit it again this year. We have every year for the last 4.
Councillor Pammer.
What is the revenue amount that you got last year from sponsorship?
So our goal is 40,000, and I think last year I hit 41,000.
Brad.
Yeah, if I can, the volunteer one really excited me when I read that. Do you have more details of what I know it's still early,
Yeah.
but what kind of a generalization are you looking at?
Yeah, so we're wanting to do a volunteer appreciation event. So the goal is to have each table sponsored by a business or a third party, so that the Optimist Club or the Rotary Club or the Lions could send a table of their volunteers to be celebrated. This is an opportunity where we could do the Medal of Distinction Award. If any of the service clubs had awards that they wanted to give, it's a good opportunity to get everyone in the same room. When we did the Meet Strathroy-Caradoc event, I think the best thing that happened in there was having all of the different service clubs in the same space and seeing the collaboration that came from that. So the goal in this is to celebrate that collaboration and what they do with the community.
Any other questions? Steve?
That money that you raise, what does it go towards?
It entirely goes back into events. So our yearly budget is offset by that sponsorship amount.
Any other questions or comments for Kate or about the sponsorship package? Okay, thank you, Kate. Let's try this again. 6.3, project updates, Director.
I'll pass that off to Manager Dowdy.
Thank you, Chair. Just wanted to provide a few project updates, just on a few capital projects from last year and some that are still trickling into 2026. Woods Edge Park and Mount Bridges, majority of that park's been completed now. Snow obviously moved in and never went away yet, so that kind of hampers progress there. A little bit of site remediation, sod work, and tree planting still remains, but other than that, the majority of that playground, that park's installed and will be open first thing this spring, as soon as we can get rid of some snow. South Grove Park, as most of you are aware, the design was completed late last year. Went through a couple of community open houses to work through some of the details of the park. It was approved by council in January. This has been awarded to Park and Water Limited, so hopefully as soon as we can get rolling on some spring weather, we can start getting onto that site. This park should be completed, we're hoping by Q3 this year, so by August at the latest, hopefully. Majority of the components in this park are something new in comparison to the rest of the parks we have. It's really geared to the community members. They looked at this project and they spoke and we listened and we created a project in a park specific for the needs of that community. So it was kind of neat. West Middlesex Arena, the North Wall project. The project's nearing completion again. Wintertime rolled in on us and majority of the work is done. A little bit of sod and remediation work on that project. Underpinning's been completed, which will well serve that structure for many years to come. Just a little update too on Campbellvale Park. This has been on the books for a couple of years now, and site work has been completed slightly. A lot of tree removals have happened, hazard trees, and a little bit of grade prep work has been started. We're in the drainage plan right now, so creating a engineered drainage plan to allow us to build something in that space. So anyway, that's right now in the planning stages. Again, more to come later on this year. We should have an update by July or August on that site. So
Go ahead.
to say Art of Faulkner Community Garden, just another addition. Just to tie back into what Paul was saying with our community involvement with HCC. They're jumping on board again to complete another project at this site, a nice 12 by 12 shade structure. So this is, we have budget remaining, and this is going to be a nice little component to add to what's already in place there. So should be on the go as soon as snow goes away. The permit's been approved for the building permit, so we're well on our way. Just a mechanical and HVAC update. We've had a bunch of updates and replacements done. End of life, out of service equipment. So just a bunch of capital projects that we're behind. There's always these capital upgrades and updates to happen every year. So multitude of these projects were completed in 2025 and lots more to come in 26 hopefully.
Any questions? Councillor Kaufman?
Just a comment. One of my employees is in the high school crew that that's gonna be working on it, and she is so stoked to be actually building something that's for public use, because the other project they're doing is private, and it just adds a different flair to it for her anyways.
Thank you, Councillor Wilson.
Could I ask if, just on the Caradoc Community Center, I know we've got scouts there that's every week, and we know there's been some upgrades and the thermostats have been changed out with some different sensors. Overall, the rooms are a lot more comfortable, a lot more consistent, so I think it's been a good update. My question on that is, were there any energy savings that came with that, or did you want the opportunity to speak a little bit about how you modernized that building and the controls? Because I know that was just done recently.
Sure, so we have it's called a 75F system that was put in place, so it's a wireless integrated communicator inside the facility. So all of the stats in each space now communicate back to a mainframe PLC. Within that PLC, we can now do night setbacks. We have a better handle on the programming. We can adjust it individually. The VAV boxes are now working again in those spaces, so we could have a variable air volume in those spaces. So to your note, comfort levels have certainly changed. That certainly enhanced that space. I don't know the exact numbers, to be honest with you, as far as the energy savings. I do know that we have better control, and those units are not running 24/7 like they used to. So we should see an offset in energy savings.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Director?
If I may just comment about the parks that Darren referenced, Campbellville Park. The engineering is going to be pretty interesting there, because that piece of land is flat. So to drain water away, you need to have a slope. So there's going to need to be some work done there. So they're working through that engineering challenge at the moment. We're hopeful that we'll be able to come to a solution that helps, because what has happened is a lot of those lots have been graded to Campbellville Park. So the back of the park tends to flood with water, and then when it doesn't go away anywhere, it works its way back out. So we're hopeful that we're able to deal with that. But the Woods Edge Park and then South Grove Park, we did this with Salisbury Park as well, where we're no longer just putting in cookie cutter parks, because it's important that we're putting in parks with play value. And play value means not just for the kids 2 to 12 or 2 to 14, it's more about the kids from 2 to 92. And when Darren mentioned South Grove about, it's a bit of a park for everybody, there's a significant number of walking trails in that park as well, but there's benches for exercise, there's cornhole that's being put in, requested by the residents. Right, so they all wanted something to do, and I have to give Darren a lot of credit, because the first public meeting, it was full of some seniors, and this one lovely lady was kind of looking at Darren and just like, what are we going to do for seniors? What do you have in here for seniors? I can see swings, and Darren's like, oh, come on, man, you're going to be in that swing, aren't you? Right, and then she just started laughing, right, kind of broke the ice. So it was. We're now doing those public consultation for parks. And I think that is so important for the residents to have an input into what they're going to see in their space. So it's not gonna be a park that's gonna get used for 3 or 4 months when it's all nice and shiny. It's gonna be a park that's gonna be used for generations, right? So just wanted to add that.
Councillor Buckland?
Yeah, I'll throw on two, because I did attend that first one and it was busy. But I also attended the one you had in Mount Bridges for the first park that was mentioned, Woods Edge. And while it was maybe not as grandiose a park as the one, as the other one, there were some serious concerns from the residents that lived in the immediate area, and I think they were all answered very well before they went home. So in terms of hedging off that negativity about what's going to be wrong with it, it turned around to being what's going to be good about it. And so yeah, those meetings are important, and again, it was well attended, and I think well worth it.
Any other questions? Steve?
I'm just wondering about the community garden and how it turned out. Was there any reports on it? Like, were lots of people using it? Did you have any water
We'll
issues?
throw it over to Darren.
Sure, so, pull that up. So, in 2025, we had 9 plots and garden plots rented. So obviously, we're a little bit late rolling it out. I anticipate the 2026 rentals will be a little bit higher, just given the success of that project. A lot of the plots, the boxes, were also used for our programs. So growing fruits and vegetables for junior chefs and for the camp program. So that was a success in itself, in not having to go purchase those items either for those programs. So yeah, but building on that, I think it's a very successful project. It was well received by the community that used it, and hopefully we can just continue to grow this as it matures and develops. So
Thanks, Darren. Thanks, Steve. Any other
I'm
questions?
just gonna add into that too, that
Yeah.
we were able to use it as part of our programming. And the kids would go weekly to weed the gardens from the camp programs as well. So, yeah, really good there. And I weren't prepared, but if you go on, I don't know if they're still online, but we have some awesome pictures that Rachel took of the park that really showed when it was in full bloom. It was something special. So, and just to reiterate, we weren't sure that the project was going to get done on the timeline that it did, so we didn't open it up for registration until it was essentially complete. So now we get to open up this year and give people the opportunity to get in there and have time to prepare for that. So yeah, when it's in full bloom, it's awesome. Yeah.
Anything else for project updates?
Just
Steve?
to follow up,
Yeah, follow
was that was it a pavilion you said you guys are gonna build there, a 12 by 12 or something like that? And is that for like storage, or is it for them to utilize, or what exactly is it for?
it's strictly just going to be a shade pavilion. So just somewhere for people to get out of the sun a little bit and have conversation while they're at the garden, and just make it a more of a community space for people that are using it.
Thank you. Anyone else? Kate?
I just want to mention that the produce that the kids were able to collect over the summer was donated to the food bank and to the Women's Rural Resource Center, as well as some of it went home with the kids, and then we froze a lot of it to use in the junior chefs program. So don't open the staff room freezer.
Thank you. Anyone else for project updates? Okay. Announcements and inquiries by members. We'll go around the shoe, starting with Brad.
That's nice.
Councillor Pammer. Councillor Pelton.
I'm assuming that Rob's gonna talk about the award, but what I wanted to mention about being at EDCO and seeing the presentations, over the years, we've added some staff, and one of the ones that really stood out amongst the presentations was Rachel's position, which I don't know her exact title.
Communications coordinator.
Right, and the job that the people who won was incredible. The communication strategies behind it, and one of the presentations was on a downtown dig replacing all the infrastructure. So that was really interesting to see. But also, it's important to realize the integration of all the different departments. And so while Rachel is part of economic development, you see already that she put together a piece for you on the webpage, and she's working with other departments. She was at the museum exhibit opening. And the fact that you're using the community garden for your programming piece, it just shows that everybody's thinking and working together, and that's just a great recipe for success. Happy to see it, and it was very evident at the awards ceremony.
Thank you. Paul?
I'm gonna piggyback a tiny bit on that and just say that the collaborations and the partnerships and you heard our request for the HCC project. They've been amazing. Darren can speak to that as well. The stuff that they've done with us. What I also want to mention is we do have a new staff coming to the department that will be starting in March. We're really looking forward to this because we've been essentially since June without a program coordinator. With a temporary position, but it didn't pan out. So it's been a bit of a grind. Not going to lie to people, but really looking forward to getting somebody really good in that position and building off of this collaboration and these partnerships and taking our programs to the level that we've certainly had them at and certainly want to get them to as well. So really looking forward to that and thank you to those especially. I know Kate has done some over and above for the department as well that has helped, and Darren throws his hands in and that's we're collaborating outside of the municipality, but we also inside our departments are working well together, and even our department internally. So kudos to all of them.
Okay, thank you. Kate?
Nothing for me, thanks.
Okay, thank you. Darren?
Just one thing tonight with the spring melt on its way. Just a reminder to people on our waterways through town. There's going to be flooding. There's going to be ice jams. So just proceed with caution. The families that have kids out on the ice skating, just keep in mind that things are shifting. Temperatures, things are changing right now. So just be cautious.
Thank you. Steve?
Nothing tonight, thanks.
Councillor Wilson? Chair?
Nothing from me, thank you.
Thank you. Sherry? Thank you. Director?
Well, I'm going to carry the theme of collaboration on because, as many of you know, we were a finalist and we were the winners of the EDCO Award for Visitor Attraction and Tourism Product Development Rural Award. It was interesting. That's a tongue full. That is. It was for the Campus and Culture Night Market, which was a collaboration of the Right Place, the BIA, and the municipality. And we're stronger together when we work as one. And that's not just outside agencies working with the municipality, but it's our own internal forces. And something that I've seen that has developed over time in my 14 years here is the walls have come down between departments and no more than they have now. When you talk about Rachel in economic development, we talk about our engineering and public works departments who do work for us to help us clear areas when we need them cleared, and internally amongst our own division of community and development services. So this award is built on collaboration, and Kate is a big spearhead with regards to managing that collaboration for that event. The thing that stuck out in my mind at the presentation wasn't that it was the 69th year of EDCO, but it was the comment that the MC made that they have thousands upon thousands of applicants for awards, and they've handed out a few hundred. And we're one of those few hundred. So it's something that the municipality should be very proud of, and it is something that the BIA and the Right Place should be as equally as proud. I know I am proud of my team, and I'm very proud of the municipality who pulls this together and supports us. So I just want to say congratulations to Kate and the team, and thank you very much.
I have three things. One of the longer ones is now shorter because you talked about Utah. I was going to give congratulations on the EDCO Award as well, and to Kate for a job well done with that market. The second thing is, I'll go outside CDAC and say a shout out to the roads department for the winter that has been crazy since the holidays. We had a great winter before the holidays, but after that, Mother Nature decided to make us pay for it. So kudos to the roads crew for the work that they do. The third thing is, all three of our arenas are currently nominated for Craft Hockeyville 2026, with the nomination period being done in 19 days, 5 hours, and 2 minutes, March 1st. So after that, so if anyone's listening in or watching in, all three arenas, the one in Mount Bridges and both in Strathroy are nominated right now for Craft Hockeyville, celebrating its 20th year anniversary. So just wanted to let people know that. Schedule of the next meeting would be Tuesday, March the 10th, 2026 at 6 p.m. here in the council chambers, and a hybrid meeting as well. And I'll need a mover and a seconder for adjournment this evening. Councillor Pop and Councillor Wilson, all in favor? Carried. Thank you and good night.